Stay on there. Yeah. Whenever I'm grass bed fishing, it's like, it brings me back to my California Delta days. You can easily fish right by one if you're just not on the right contour line. So I'm just using the wind, I'm just kind of zigzagging into the spawning area. I don't want to miss anything, especially when the water temperatures continue to rise. I mean, the fish are going to be on the rise and they're going to be on the move, so you can't sink the raptors and fish slow until you find a little wad or a hole or a spawning spot. And I've got those areas, but I'm going for big ones right now, man. In my opinion, that you want these pre-spawn fatties that are out in front of the spawn. Water temperature's already 65 degrees. The start of practice, which was four mornings ago, it was 57. They could literally be anywhere around these holes. This is some really nice clumpy grass.
Bainbridge, Georgia. That is our host community in Lake Seminole, our playing field.
Second stop of the year. Stooch, the high expectations, we're going to roll them into the second event of the season as well. We thought Okeechobee had the possibility of being a great event. It was. Seminole has just as much high expectations this week.
I mean, it's only our second event, but already there was more trash talking about pre-fish going into this event than I've heard in quite some time.
Yeah, it's just a great fishery, and the weather has set up perfectly.
They're kind of on the move, and so some anglers are probably optimistic because they're swimming to them. Some are pessimistic because they feel like they're swimming away from them, but we should have a good mix of pre-spawn and spawning action this week. Maybe a day 1 and 2 transition from spawn or from pre-spawn into the spawn.
Here, I think a lot of guys, whether they would admit it or not, had a very good practice. The big thing that we're seeing happen, though, is the weather has become so mild, so to speak, 80s for highs and upper 60s for lows at night, that these fish are doing a lot of moving. They're transitioning. We have a new moon coming. A lot of these fish will be going to the bank to spawn, but there's still a lot of fish that are pre-spawn and that will not go to the bank this week.
A lot of blacks and blues, a lot of June bugs. So I've got a couple of areas I feel really good about, and this is shaping up to be, for me, like a textbook pre-spawn tournament. I mean, all through practice, we've had warming days. Each and every day, it's been 76 degrees, 78 degrees, 79 degrees. Today, we're supposed to have over 80 degrees. Being in late February, being in the southeast part of the country, that only means one thing. The fish are going to start going to the bank. The water temperatures in practice started out at 57 degrees. They're finally coming up to that magical 63, 64 degrees. So, but my game plan going into especially day 1 of this tournament is definitely do a whole bunch of winding, almost expanding, almost a day 4 of practice, expanding on the areas that I found. It's about a 25-mile run down to my area. I get to rip this boat all through the corners of the Flint River here. And I'm just gonna keep myself in those areas where it's a typical transition area. Things are changing quickly each and every day. It seems like it's been different, and it's gonna be no different today.
The 2-time Bassmaster winner from Fort Worth, Texas, the Zaldain, Zaldain.
So yeah, as close as you want, Johnny, just like, well, like that distance, but like, on that side. Like most guys didn't even catch one over 3 pounds in practice, and I caught a 6 or 7 pounder up here, so I'm able to expand on something. I'm not clueless. Like this is how you catch a big bag in this offshore grass. Just find a little hole or a wad of them. It's so much wind the last few days. I mean, this has been pounded by the wind, but I don't think it matters. I mean, it's dirty. This is like California Delta fishing, man. Kind of stained water and a bunch of offshore clumpy grass right in front of the spawning area. It literally, I caught that 6 6+ pounder on like that cast right there, but they could literally be anywhere around these holes. Directly behind me, there's a giant spawning area with cleaner water. So, I mean, for all I know, they could be spawning up there, and we will check that. But in my opinion, to catch a really, really big bag, it's gonna be in this off the bank clumpy grass in this dirtier water. You gotta pick up the pace a little bit. Water temperature is already 65 degrees. The start of practice, which was four mornings ago, it was 57. Big one. Yep. Finally. That's a good fish. Finally. Been winding so much. He's got several bites through here. Clarity got too dirty or what? That's a big one, dude. What do we got? What is going on here? Oh, it's all matted up. It's a tiny bass, dude, and a bunch of salad. I thought it was a giant fish. Oh man, it bit it and it immediately got matted. 112. Oh, I thought that was a giant, Johnny. You could fish too fast, which is weird because it's cloudy and windy, and you would think they would just be snapping, but that is not the case. You gotta slow roll it and coax them. I'm gonna tie on a swim bait. That is my California Delta secret. Keep moving, guys. Gotta keep it going. Dude, they should be destroying right through here. I didn't have any bites in this back, real far back stuff in practice, but I mean, they could easily have moved there. I guess, I mean, you gotta check all this stuff back here. I mean, I haven't fished here yet, but they weren't here in practice, that is for sure. Every single cast is like requires a different lure. Got the sparse grass, you got sparse pads, thick grass, pad stems, a mat, deeper channel, big one. Yeah! I thought he was bigger, I'll take it. Swim jig bite. Smoked it, man, that's awesome. Thank you. Man, I thought that was a giant. Just gotta keep winding, bro. They're definitely relating to like the points, but the holes in the points. All right, I wanna go check some swim bait fish. All right, Johnny, I'll take it easy on you driving wise. One cast right here, then we're gonna go around the corner. Man, I got smoked right there with this swim bait in practice. I mean, it was a big one too. Let's get back in the grass, man. That's where we need to be. It ain't easy, man. With this place is like historical for like giant bags. It is not showing out this week. About to on this next stop though. Yeah, the other day it was like the clear water line was like right here the other day, but it's been blowing 30 out of the south. That back wall is where I had a couple bites. Come on, big one. I could kind of see the grass. I've been able to see the grass the last couple days. Beautiful patchy lines. That stuff is hard to punch, man. It's like thicker than hay grass on Rayburn and Toledo Bend. Stay on there. Oh, stay on there, please. I need you so bad. Oh, it ain't moving. Please. Oh, it's a slimer. Look at that. I don't need you so bad. All right, well, those things are, there's plenty of bass. Oh my gosh, stay on there. Oh gosh, I think it came off. Oh yeah. 12 inches, right? Oh my gosh. 110. One more. Ah! Thank you. Come on, baby, one more. Cannot catch a break here. Come on, I need a big bite. A 5-pounder on one of these points right here. It's all about these troughs though. Like, you gotta go to the bank and find that trough. Big one. I don't know if it's a bass, guys. Ah, it's a little bass. It's number 5. That's why you stick with it, Johnny, just like last week. Are you sure it's 12 inches? Oh, man. I am not a swamp fisherman, and I'm so happy to have 5. 4. There's another one, big one. Could have slept in this morning. That's a call. Yes. How about that? I mean, it's not a big bag at all. But I'm just, with the day I've had, I'm lucky to have 5, man. I easily could have came in with 3 fish. It's so hard to keep your confidence up when everything looks the same. It's all dirty. There's just silly grass everywhere, real bad grass. I mean, it's all dead and dying. I gotta go. Okay. I just got back here to the RV camp, which is right across the street from the takeoff. Walking off that stage with a proud 11.7. And I say proud because it wasn't easy. I mean, I was sitting on 3 fish for the longest time, and I'm constantly trying to make adjustments. I think only 21 pounds is leading, so it's not, the fishing's not that good. You know, despite the warming trends, despite this being a big fish factory, the weights aren't that good. So I had to dig in the back of my truck here to kind of come up with reinforcements. And what I mean by that is spinning reels. I literally have to put them together. I didn't expect to, throw a spinning rod and reel, but that's just the way this place is fishing right now. Lake Seminole is it's tough. It just seems like you can't, go to any bank and just, catch a 2 or 3 pounder. And, after the practice I had, seeing a big fish out there in those grassy clumps, in 4, 5, 6 feet of water, it's evident that the fish are moving towards the bank. But again, they're not everywhere, but they can be anywhere. So it's just one of those things here this week on Seminole where you have to throw multiple different lures and presentations in the area you're fishing, whether it's lily pads over here and a little bit of eelgrass over here, a little bit of milfoil and hydrilla over here. It's all about covering a lot of water with a bunch of different presentations. As you can see, this is probably the most amount of rods I've had all season long. My mind is constantly going. We learned a lot today, and I think, in the areas I could come in with a big bag. All right, we showed up to the ramp kind of late because I was thinking about the game plan for today. Day 2, I'm gonna need over probably 16 and a half, 17 to make the cut, but I need over 20 pounds just for my state of being, my mindset. You know, yesterday I rigged up spinning rods, but honestly, you could go either way. You could either slow way down in some spawning areas or speed way up in those pre-spawn areas. And I woke up this morning with a little more testosterone than normal, and I think I'm gonna speed up buzzbait, swim bait, chatterbait, spinnerbait, those types of things, and just kind of stay on the trolling motor and just go, man, because there's a lot of pre-spawn fish out there still, and I think the majority of them are still pre-spawn, so that's where my head's at. We'll see how long it lasts. You know, I still have those spinning rods, but hopefully they stay in the bottom of the boat, you know, throughout the day, so. It does feel like a fall tournament. It does feel like a fall tournament. All right, got a 25-mile run or so. Are we gonna go spinning rod or bait casting rod at our first spot? I think we'll make that decision then, but Johnny's gonna meet us down there. We're a late boat today, boat 70 something, so we'll get there a little bit later. We'll see you guys over there.
Shot Bassmaster winner for Fort Worth, Texas. The Zaldaingerous one, Chris Zaldain. Lake Series champion.
Need a big bag today. Frog, 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 frog is what my mind is telling me. It's like spawning season. I got a few bites in here in practice, and then also yesterday. Like you would think you would get, it's like warm this morning, you would think you'd get like one to show. It feels like they're not even here. It's so weird, this place. Bluegill smacking. So crazy, like they ain't in here. It's like, maybe they were just feeding and not spawning in here yesterday. Let's get out of here. Enough of that. Man, it looks good in here. The hyacinths aren't as packed because of the lack of wind. It's a giant flat and then a trough right in front of these hyacinths. And the wind's been blowing for the last 6 days, 5-6 days. Finally it calms down. I know guys are sight fishing, I'm sure, but this is a good day to be, you know, pre-spawn punching. I'm predicting right now you're gonna see a lot of like flip-flopping on the leaderboard because what worked yesterday won't work today. I almost guarantee it. The only thing that's stable is there's warming temps. Little guy. Keep. Yeah, they're peeing. I mean, they're spawning in that stuff. There's milfoil down the center. There's two. You really got to, you know, every 30, 40 feet, sink the raptors and just fan cast around because that milfoil is like really nice. Like tiny ones, man. Gosh. Finish this stretch and then we're gonna throw swim bait like on some laydowns or current or something different. I'm getting sick of this swamp stuff. Pickerel, little tiny bass. Oh my gosh. Man, we're hurting today, buddy. I need a giant afternoon. I want to run the swim jig in this trough, you know. They're not in that stuff, man, like you'd think. I'm gonna get to those trees and then I'm gonna go fish some channel swings and some deeper water, man, because that's the only thing I've got confidence in. Fishing new water. Like, I'm not gonna go to some flat and just start winding away. I mean, I'm gonna fish swings and maybe a little bit of current, just something to get maybe a bigger bite, swim bait. Stay on there. Stay on there. Stay on there, please. Yeah! Yes! Finally, man. Gosh. Whew. I got it caught on a piece of grass and pulled it off and gong. Finally, nice one. It's about time, Mike. Dude, I really want to go throw a swim. Let's work our way out of here. Let's go fish some bends and stuff like that, man. I mean, that's how it's gonna happen if it's gonna happen. All right, enough of this. This ain't cutting it. Gotta try something new, man. I'm not gonna go down without a fight. That's the type of TV I used to watch KVD on. Gosh, I could see just like a 5 or 6 just hanging out on something like this. Some isolated laydown with a mat. How is there not a bite through here? Is that Rick pulling over there punching? Straight salve. All right, I'm not feeling this. I thought it would look a lot cooler up here. I thought there'd be like more rocks and swim bait stuff. Stay on my tail, Johnny, okay? Need some magic. Got time. Bass fishing textbook says if you're catching big ones out here in the sparse grass and the water temperatures rise and they're trying to spawn, they go right here. That's what the handbook says. That's a big one. Little. Every time I think it's a big one. Every single time. 'Cause I don't know what a fish feels like out here. Oh boy. Just make a decision. It's just chatterbait only. I don't have, I've got nothing else. Everything I got's like one here, one there. Backwater the rest of the day. Boom, done. 1 hour to do it. Come here.
Come here, come here, come here, come here.
Yes. Woo! 4 for ounces. Well, after having a pretty good practice, I've tried to stick with them. And man, these fish are tricky. It's like they're not grouped up. There's one here, one there. Gosh, that's 2 back-to-back tournaments where I'm not making the cut. And it's a bad start to the year, but I can't wait to wrap this one up, get home, regroup, and get ready for the Classic, man. And catching that big one was kind of a curse in practice because it led me down a road that I probably shouldn't have gone down. Things were changing too much, but we salvaged some points today, that's for sure. I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna run through a stump field getting out. Johnny, good job, dog. I gotta go. All right, we're all hooked up here. That Nebo, what do you think, buddy? He wants some of those squirrels. It's one thing about South Carolina and Florida. There's a lot of wildlife this early in the season. And man, I'm just not a swamp fisherman at all. I finished like 70 something here this week. Again, it's a lesson learned. We learned last week at Okeechobee, and yet again we learned this week here on Seminole. And you know, just when you think you have a little clue, you catch a 7-pounder in practice, and oh, they're gonna be in this grass. The only place they could go is in this spawning area. And then when you go there and it just doesn't materialize, that's like one of the most frustrating things in bass fishing, but you have to move on. So we're gonna chalk this up as another learning experience. Here I am, my 12th season, continuing to learn. So we got a 13-hour drive back to Dallas-Fort Worth. Back home where we could recharge the batteries a little bit, clean everything up, get everything back to organized, back to square. And I'm really looking forward to sitting down and dolling up some of my favorite swim baits because I know the potential that the Classic, Knoxville, Tennessee, the Tennessee River, Fort Loudon, Tellico, that's what's on my mind. So for the next 13 hours, I'm gonna think about, you know, I had a giant day. I weighed one of the biggest bags in the Classic there in 2019, slow roll on a swim bait. And I'm just, you know, thinking about that. So again, this week was kind of a fail, but it's a learning fail. And, you know, it's just, we move on to the next one. And there's one thing about the Bassmaster Classic, especially in Knoxville, Tennessee, is the crowd is going to show out, and we're gonna give them something to ooh and ah about, and that is for sure. So the rig's looking good. We're all strapped up, ready. Trait just fired up the truck over here. You know, it is what it is. I think we're sitting in 60th or 70th in points, you know, for the start of the year, but it's definitely going to be a kind of a chip away at it, kind of an uphill climb as far as points goes throughout the rest of the season. But I thrive off of that. That's what I like. Historically, I turn it on mid-season and just go, baby. By the end of the year, I will be dialed, just nailing top 10s and top 5s. And historically, you know, we're right on schedule. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it.